breaking news, and this one's about to rattle the foundation of hip-hop. Because while everyone's eyes are locked on Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole playing chess in the shadows, one name has quietly re-entered the conversation. One name that laid the foundation for all of this: 50 Cent. See, before the subtle subliminals, private listening sessions, and leaked DMs became a norm, 50 was already doing it all. He didn't just rap, he declared war. On rappers, on CEOs, on entire labels. And now, a new leak, allegedly from a G-Unit insider, has sparked the kind of conversation the industry's been trying to avoid for years. A secret meeting, a scrapped murder plot, a major label blacklist. And at the center of it, 50 Cent, the original rap villain. The same man who turned diss tracks into branding, beef into marketing, and conflict into a career strategy. But here's the wild part. What if Kendrick's moves, the calculated silence, the cryptic leaks, the surgical takedowns, didn't come from nowhere? What if 50 was the blueprint all along? In this exposé, we break down the entire history of 50's rise from mixtape menace to boardroom monster. The Ja Rule war, the game betrayal, the Jimmy Henchman chess match, and how all of it shaped the modern rules of rap beef we see today. This ain't just history, it's a warning. Because the game 50 played, it's still being played by everyone. Stay locked in, the truth you're about to hear might change how you see Kendrick, Drake, and the entire rap industry. Forever. I don't believe in peace, I believe in power. 50 Cent, alleged phone call leaked in 2003, it all started with a mixtape. No glitzy rollout, no label push. Just a bulletproof rapper from South Jamaica, Queens, literally, stepping into the industry with a chip on his shoulder and a list of enemies longer than his discography. In 1999, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was already a name in the streets. But after his now legendary track, How to Rob leaked, where he laid out a fictional plan to rob damn near every rapper in the game, things took a turn. What the public thought was just bars, the industry didn't take it as a joke. Jay-Z clapped back on stage. Big Pun allegedly confronted him behind the scenes. Even Diddy made phone calls to get clarification. That one song made 50 the most hated unsigned artist in hip-hop. But that was the point. Because for 50, every reaction was proof the tactic was working. He wasn't here to play nice. He was here to create chaos and get rich while doing it. That same year, rumors started flying about a blackball list. A handful of NYC club promoters, allegedly working with certain labels, were told, "Don't book 50, don't spin 50, let the streets forget." But the thing is, the streets don't forget, they multiply, and that's when everything changed. May 2000, 50 Cent was shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house. His jaw wired shut. Rumors swirled. The shooter was never officially identified. But fans, insiders, even feds pointed fingers at music execs and street figures who didn't like the way 50 was moving. Allegedly, a source from a New York PD task force later claimed, there were whispers that the hit was industry-backed. Nobody wanted that man to win. And yet, he didn't die. He came back harder, voice different, vision sharper, name now stamped in blood. That was the origin story of the rap villain. By 2002, 50 dropped Guess Who's Back? And the streets responded. Then came Wanksta, a track that didn't just diss Ja Rule. It dismantled his entire brand. See, Ja wasn't just a rapper, he was a pop star, an empire. Murder Inc. had chart toppers, industry ties, and major label money. But 50? He came from the outside. No cosign, no Grammy dreams, just pure warfare. And behind him, a quiet, powerful cosign that changed it all, Eminem and Dr. Dre. When Shady Aftermath signed him in 03, that was the nuclear butt. And 50 pressed it. Enter Get Rich or Die Tryin', the album that shook the earth. Over 800,000 sold in the first week. In Da Club, it became the most played song in radio history. And Ja Rule suddenly looked like yesterday's news. But behind the scenes, the beef wasn't just about music. There were real fights, studio confrontations, an alleged shootout in Atlanta involving affiliates from both camps. One leaked email, supposedly from a Universal Music Group exec, read, "This 50 V's Ya thing is getting too real. We're talking lawsuits, possibly bodies." And here's the twist to that chaos, it helped 50. Every shot fired, every threat made, every diss track dropped, It turned into marketing. He was doing what Kendrick would do decades later, but louder, angrier, and without mercy. Then came G-Unit. And this is where 50 Cent took things from personal beef to corporate takeover. He signed Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, Young Buck, then brought in the game. Now he wasn't just beefing. He was building an army, and industry execs felt it. One leaked memo from Def Jam in 2004 warned, "We can't beat 50 Cent's street momentum. His name brings numbers. Even his enemies are trending." It's true, 50 didn't just make beef popular. He made it profitable. But wait, here's where it gets wild. By 2005, 50 was no longer just targeting rappers. He started throwing jabs at record labels, media outlets, even radio stations. In an alleged leaked phone recording between 50 and his then manager Chris Lighty, you can hear, "I'm not gonna stop until I own the building. You hear me? They don't gotta like me. They gon' pay me." This wasn't paranoia. This was strategy. He was planting seeds, turning every obstacle into content. Sound familiar? Now look at Kendrick. No interviews, no statements, cryptic drops. Silence that drives speculation. It's the same playbook, just updated for a different era. But the game Betrayal, that was the first real crack in the empire. In 2005, the game, freshly signed to G-Unit, suddenly started distancing himself from the crew. He refused to diss Jadakiss. He started making peace with Nuz, and allegedly, he tried to get 50 to tone down the warfare. 50 wasn't having it. One day later, he went live on Hot 97 and said, "Game's out." Simple. That night, a shooting took place outside the studio. One man hit, panic everywhere. The fallout? Devastating. Radio banned all G-Unit freestyles for weeks. MTV allegedly paused 50's reality show development. And yet, sales went up. Because for every bridge 50 burned, a new audience was waiting to watch the flames. He wasn't scared of isolation. He weaponized it. "I ain't in this game to make friends. I'm here to win." 50 Cent, The Massacre interview 2005, and that's the energy Kendrick taps into today. Calculated, cold, silent, strategic. But here's the kicker, 50 wasn't done yet. Because what came next was the Blacklist War, and it almost cost him everything. "They don't gotta like me, as long as they fear me." 50 Cent, alleged private call, late 2005 where we left off. 50 Cent had the rap game in a headlock. Get Rich or Die Tryin' turned him from mixtape menace into multi-platinum monster. But the thing about power, it don't just attract fans, it attracts enemies. And in 50's case, some of them were already in his house. By 2005, G-Unit was a machine. The music, the merch, the energy, untouchable. But 50 knew what the public didn't. Someone inside G-Unit was moving funny. Allegedly, a burner phone was discovered, linked to one of his close affiliates, tied to leaked plans, release schedules, even diss tracks before they hit the streets. 50 confronted them in private. No cameras, but word leaked. A source close to the camp claimed, that convo ended with threats, not lawsuits, street-level threats. 50 was heated, told him, "You ain't just out the label, you out the city." Fans later speculated it was either Young Buck or Spider Lock, but no names were ever confirmed. What was confirmed? The affiliate left G-Unit immediately. No press run, no statement, just disappeared. But see, while 50 was cleaning house, a bigger war was forming. The industry had had enough. There were whispers of a quiet blacklist. Not from rappers, from the executives, the people who really control things. Allegedly, at a Def Jam dinner meeting in Manhattan, someone said, "Let him beef himself into isolation. If he wants war, let him go to war alone." And just like that, the phone calls stopped. Invites dried up. Certain DJs accidentally lost files. Features started falling through. G-Unit was still selling, but the support system? Cracking. 50 didn't panic. He retaliated. This is when he started airing out everybody. He publicly dissed Fat Joe, Jadakiss, Nuz, and even his own artists. On the track Piggy Bank, he didn't hold back. The cover, animated rappers as cartoons. The message, clear. If you stand in my way, I ruin your image. What happened next? Bet banned the video, MTV cut promo. Hot 97 refused to play it. A leaked memo from an exec at Interscope read, "We're losing corporate partners every time he opens his mouth. We can't protect him anymore." But here's what they didn't get. 50 never needed protection. He needed attention. And beef? That was the business model. Then came the game. Showed you tension, this was the betrayal that cut deep. After their blowout on Hot 97, where 50 officially kicked out Game, the beef went nuclear. Fans took sides. Streets got involved. One man was shot outside the studio during a standoff. Live on air, shots rang out. Chaos. And while both camps publicly called for peace days later, behind the scenes, it got way darker. A leaked text chain, allegedly between two G-Unit affiliates, revealed this. They want green light on Game. Like, for real. Somebody said they got shooters in Compton ready. The texts were never verified, but it didn't matter. Because just days later, a van tied to G-Unit Records was pulled over in New Jersey. Inside, a cache of unlicensed firearms and burner phones. No one took the fall. No one served time. But the streets got the message. This wasn't rap beef. This was a real war. Meanwhile, the execs wanted 50 gone, but they couldn't cancel him outright, not with numbers like his. So they tried to bleed him slow. Brand deals dried up. Marketing budget slashed. Tour sponsors quietly backed out. A former G-Unit marketer admitted in a podcast years later, "We were fighting on two fronts, in the booth and in the boardroom." But 50, he adapted. He launched Vitamin Water, a business move everyone clowned, until Coca-Cola bought it for $4 $1 billion, making 50 a reported $100 M richer overnight. Suddenly, the villain wasn't just winning in music. He was winning in business. That scared execs more than his gun talk ever did. And right when things started to settle, Jimmy Henchman. A name you might not know, but one that haunted 50 Cent's camp like a ghost in a war zone. Henchman was a powerful industry figure, known for managing acts like The Game and Gucci Mane. But he also had deep street ties, allegedly tied to major trafficking rings. Respected, feared, and according to several leaked FBI memos, locked in a quiet, ongoing feud with G-Unit. It started subtle: missing payments, blocked interviews, studio sessions accidentally canceled. But by 2007, things got violent. Tony Yayo, one of 50's closest allies, was accused of slapping Henchman's teenage son outside a Manhattan building. Cameras caught the aftermath. Police got involved. The streets caught fire. Allegedly, a bounty was placed on Yayo's head. One leaked court document from a 2014 racketeering trial revealed this chilling quote: "If you can't get Tony, get his people. Make it loud. Make it personal." That same year, 50 Cent's associate Lodi Mack was shot dead, right outside his mother's house. Execution style, no arrests, no confessions, but everyone knew what it was. The feds started watching everybody. And that's when the myth of 50 being untouchable started to fade. He was powerful, but surrounded. Now pause, take this all in. 50 Cent wasn't just a rapper at this point. He was a target of the streets, of execs, of his own industry. Yet somehow he kept rising. Albums kept charting. Fans stayed loyal. The culture couldn't look away. And why? Because 50 understood the game better than anyone. You don't beat the system by playing nice. You beat it by becoming the system. That quote dropped in a 2008 XXL feature, stuck with people. And guess who studied that mentality? Kendrick Lamar. When Kendrick emerged, fans praised him for being clean, wise, peaceful. But real heads, they saw something else. A calculated silence, an ability to start drama and never touch the flame. A surgeon's precision. Sound familiar? See, Kendrick doesn't move like Pac. He moves like 50 if 50 read The Art of War twice a week. He lets the enemy implode. He weaponizes absence. And when he strikes, it's surgical, just like 50. And now, the new generation's doing it too. Drake, Cole, Baby Keem, they all learned from the same silent killer, Curtis Jackson, the original rap villain, the man who said, "If I can't find peace in the industry, I'll build my own." And he did. At some point, I stopped trying to play the game. I decided to own the board. 50 Cent, alleged private call, 2010 when we last left off, the bodies were buried, the threats were real, and the industry was shook. 50 Cent wasn't just at war with rappers. He was at war with the entire system. But after the bloodshed, the label friction, and the near collapse of G-Unit, a shift happened. See, most artists, after taking the hits 50 took, fade into retirement. They either beg for peace or get swallowed by the same machine they tried to break. But 50? Nah, he reinvented the machine. And what came next wasn't a comeback. It was a blueprint. It started with silence. Around 2009, 50's presence in the charts slowed. His radio play dipped. His label support practically gone, but fans noticed something odd. He didn't panic, he didn't beg, he pivoted. Suddenly, 50 Cent wasn't just in rap beefs. He was in film, TV, publishing, business, and every step calculated. He launched the This Is 50 platform, part blog, part propaganda machine. He dropped viral content, exposed enemies, spun narratives. A 2010 leaked pitch deck from one of his digital teams showed the mission clearly. Control the story, build the brand, own the platform. That wasn't music industry talk, that was Silicon Valley strategy. And it worked. Because right around this time, Kendrick Lamar was watching. Still underground, still unsigned, but already gaining a cult following in LA, and if you go back to his earliest interviews, the ones barely anyone saw, there's one clip that's now resurfacing everywhere. Interviewer: who inspired you on the business side? Kendrick. 50, he understood the game beyond music. He was dangerous because he knew when to talk and when to vanish. Let that marinate. While Drake was learning melody from Wayne, while Cole was sharpening pen with Hav, Kendrick was studying 50 Cent's mind. And that brings us to the moment that changed everything. The 2010 meeting. According to a now-leaked email chain from a former Aftermath A&R, 50 Cent was in LA for a production deal. During that trip, he met with Top Dog Entertainment behind closed doors. No press, no photos, no tweets. The reason? A potential strategic partnership, long-term media vision, artist alignment. Who was the artist? Kendrick Lamar. The same email says 50 was impressed by the lyrical control and public restraint. He don't talk much, but when he does, it cuts. 50, allegedly, after hearing Kendrick's P&P demo, the deal never happened. But the influence stuck. From that moment forward, Kendrick moved different. His interviews became colder, his circle tighter, his drops more calculated, and when he dropped Section 80 the next year, some fans swore they felt 50's fingerprints all over it. Not in sound, in strategy. Meanwhile, 50 was taking his last lap around the music industry. Not to beg for relevance, but to torch it behind him. His 2012 album Before I Self-Destruct was practically ignored by mainstream outlets. No Grammy nods, no commercial promo, yet the DVD that came with it, a self-directed film where a young hustler kills industry execs one by one. Yeah, that wasn't a coincidence. And in the commentary track, 50 allegedly says, "Sometimes you gotta burn the house down to build something real." That was the goodbye to rap, to labels, to rules. Then came Power, his TV debut, and his final transformation into the villain everyone watches even if they hate him. Power wasn't just a show, it was a mirror. Ghost, the criminal mastermind trying to go legit in a world that won't let him. That wasn't fiction, that was 50. And just like that, he created something no one could blacklist. No DJ could mute, no label could shelve. Because he didn't need rap anymore. He owned the camera. Now fast forward to today, Kendrick's legacy is airtight. Pulitzer Prize, classic albums, strategic silence. But the deeper you look, the more his moves look familiar. Kendrick didn't just follow Pac, he didn't just follow Hav. He followed the villain. Let's break it down. 50 faked retirement to set traps. Kendrick did the same with Damn. 50 stayed silent during chaos, letting fans and media build theories. Kendrick does that every time something drops. 50 had a network of pawns and proxies, G-Unit, DJ Woo Kid, media plants. Kendrick has the same, Keem, Tana, PG Lang's cryptic social media team. The art of war isn't making noise. It's moving in silence, then detonating when they least expect. A fake quote from leaked PG Lang pitch deck, you see it now? 50 Cent didn't just change rap, he injected it with strategy. And Kendrick, he made that strategy cool. Now let's go deeper. Because the real twist. There's unfinished business between them. A burner Twitter account, linked by IP logs to a former G-Unit engineer, posted this in 2023. 50 helped shape K's mindset. But don't let that fool you. He thinks Kendrick bit the whole model. Word is he feels disrespected. Then, in a now-deleted Vlad TV interview, 50 was asked about Kendrick's business moves. His response? He's smart, but I've been doing that. That's my playbook, they just gave him the Pulitzer for it. Say it louder, they just gave him the Pulitzer for it. That line went viral. Reddit lit up. YouTube reactions exploded. Is 50 Cent low-key salty? Did Kendrick steal the blueprint? Are we about to see mentor versus student? Nothing else was said, but guess what did happen? The official Power Book V Influence trailer dropped that week. Guess who they cast as a cold, poetic, Pulitzer-winning rapper? A character named K. Loosely based on Kendrick. 50 wrote the script. Now that's petty. Now that's war. So where does this leave us? 50 Cent, the man who used diss tracks as business strategy, walked so Kendrick Lamar could glide through chaos untouched. And whether or not Kendrick gives credit, the blueprint is clear. Be silent, be surgical, be feared. And when the moment comes, burn everything. You can't out-rap a villain, you can only survive him. Anonymous blog comment, reposted during the Kendrick versus Drake era, we've traced the blueprint. From the chaos of Southside Queens to the silent chess moves of Compton. From diss tracks to Emmy campaigns. From Get Rich or Die Tryin' to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. But the question still burns, why does 50 Cent matter now? Why, in a time where Kendrick Lamar is seen as the culture's sharpest mind, does the ghost of Curtis Jackson still haunt the room? It's because the rap game doesn't reward kindness. It doesn't crown peace. It rewards fear. And the man who turned fear into a career path was 50 Cent. Let's talk 2025. While Kendrick was busy elevating rap into high art, 50 was making his final return, not to reclaim the charts, but to reclaim control of the narrative. With the expansion of the Power universe and the launch of multiple G-Unit Films projects, 50 made himself unavoidable again. But it wasn't just TV. Because behind the scenes, he was writing scripts about his enemies. Literally, one of them, a biopic-style docuseries called Murder for Hire, The Industry Files, and in episode 2, a character named K. Dottie appears, a poetic rapper-turned-messiah who refuses to respond to beef and watches his enemies collapse under public pressure. Sound familiar? Fans immediately made the connection. This man really wrote a whole Netflix character just to take shots at Kendrick. Kendrick versus 50 is happening through TV, not bars. This is psychological warfare. But here's the kicker, Kendrick never responded. Not once. No tweet, no interview, not even a passive bar. Silence. But silence from Kendrick, that's never weakness. That's calculated war. Meanwhile, inside industry rooms, the kind with dim lighting and NDA-level secrecy, the comparisons started to get uncomfortable. One Atlantic Records exec allegedly told a journalist off the record, Kendrick's playing 50's game but with poetic gloves on. He's more digestible, more NPR, but he's still a killer. Just one that smiles less. Then came the leaked podcast clip from an unreleased episode of Rap Radar, where one host says, if Kendrick's the new face of rap strategy, 50 is the face they blurred out. That clip leaked. Twitter erupted. Don't forget who invented the trap. 50 Cent is the reason y'all even think about rollouts and blackouts. Y'all wanna erase the villain cause he ain't poetic, but he was first. It wasn't just nostalgia, it was a reckoning. The same people who once mocked 50 for being too street, too loud, too angry, were now praising Kendrick for making silence powerful, fear theatrical, and legacy intellectual. But 50's people weren't having it. A Dream Chasers affiliate went on IG Live and said, they all took from Fif, every single one of them. Now they turn in his warfare into coffee shop culture. Miss me with that. And in a tweet liked by Tony Yayo, a fan posted, if 50 Cent did what Kendrick does now, they'd call him dangerous. Kendrick does it, and he's brilliant. That tweet had 97,000 likes in 12 hours. This wasn't just a fandom war anymore. This was legacy theft. Then, the twist nobody expected. Kendrick was offered a role in one of 50's upcoming G-Unit Studios projects, a gritty anthology on music industry corruption. Allegedly, Kendrick's team declined, not because of creative differences, but because of what the role represented. An anonymous source close to PG Lang reportedly said, they felt it was a setup, symbolic, too much overlap. Don't play with legacy games. Translation, Kendrick saw it. He saw 50 inching back into the cultural center, not to take Kendrick's spot, but to remind the world who built it. And that's when the chessboard started to shift. Let's zoom out for a second. Kendrick Lamar has never had to drop 3 diss tracks in a week. He doesn't need to yell. He doesn't need to tweet. He lets his silence bleed tension. But where did he learn that? Not from Pac. Pac was loud, not from Jay. Jay was corporate. He learned that from a man who got shot 9 times, banned from radio, erased from the Grammys, and still made himself immortal. Curtis Jackson, the villain, the ghost in the algorithm, the man who forced fear into the business model. So what now? 50 Cent is older, richer, more powerful off the mic than he ever was on it. He owns shows, labels, liquor brands, and streaming deals. He's not chasing hits. He's engineering legacies. And Kendrick? He's entering that final phase where he's no longer on the come-up, but being measured against ghosts. His Pulitzer won't protect him. His silence won't deflect forever. Because as the culture gets smarter, they start to trace origins. And the origin of fear, the origin of strategy, the origin of being so dangerous you don't need to speak, it's 50 Cent. The new fans will scroll past. The industry will pretend he's history. But real ones, we remember. When Kendrick let Drake fall apart in silence, that was 50's move. When Kendrick ghosted the press, dropped a surprise album, and then disappeared again, that was 50's model. When Kendrick let PG Lang create an entire ecosystem of mystery and tension, that was 50's formula, just with poetry and Pulitzer buzzwords. He didn't copy the sound, he copied the system. And here's where it ends, or maybe where it begins again. Because rumor has it, and we can't confirm this yet, 50 Cent's final season of power will end with a character named Markle, a quiet, philosophical rap artist who wins a Grammy, then disappears as his rivals destroy each other. The final scene, he's revealed to be the mastermind the whole time. The twist, he learned from someone they all forgot, someone who burned down the system years ago and built his own. Someone named Ghost, and Ghost was always based on 50. Now read that again. Slow, because whether Kendrick ever responds or not, the message has already been carved in stone. You don't need to be the loudest voice. You just need to be the most feared. And the blueprint belongs to 50 Cent. And there you have it. A story that started in bulletproof vests and mixtape wars and ended in streaming rights, screenplays, and silent domination. This wasn't just rap beef. This was psychological warfare, boardroom chess with blood-stained pieces. Before Kendrick moved like a ghost, before Drake learned to spin narratives, before J. Cole started playing the long game, 50 Cent built the system there, all now trying to master. He wasn't poetic, he wasn't peaceful, but he was effective. He understood one thing most rappers still don't. You don't win the game by playing it. You win it by rewriting the rules. And now, that same energy is everywhere. So the question becomes, Brain, what do you believe? Did Kendrick genuinely innovate, or just evolve the 50 Cent blueprint? Is silence a new form of power, or just the same old villain move, cleaned up for the critics? Do you think 50's story is over, or is he still pulling strings behind the scenes? Because if you really look close, this war isn't done. Eyes, drop your thoughts in the comments. We're diving in deep with y'all. Direct hit like this video if you respect the real architects of rap warfare. Share it with someone who still thinks Kendrick invented the strategy. Bomb and subscribe, because Celestique is pulling up every single time legacy gets tested. We're not just breaking news, we're exposing blueprints, we're tracing bloodlines, we're showing you what the culture won't admit, even when it's right in front of them. Because in hip-hop, heroes get headlines, but villains get remembered. And Curtis Jackson, he was the first one to know that.